GM Farcaster. It is Friday. Happy Friday, March 8th, International Women's Day. So today, for something new, we had two women on the show. Oh, wait a minute. We do that every day. It's actually unusual when we don't have two women hosting this show. But with me, who's actually international today, is the fabulous heavyweight, aka Erica, and she is coming to us from Paris. So, GM Erica, how are you doing this morning?
GM, I am sleep deprived, but this is giving me a bunch of energy. So I'm happy that I'm starting my day with this, even though it's 2:30.
It's like afternoon, but she's starting her day with us.
I have my first coffee today. We're good.
It's GM anytime, right? It's just like it's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's GM somewhere. It is. Yeah. So here we go. I wanted to share my background is Renee Campbell, and she posted this beautiful piece for International Women's Day. And she said, every day is our day. Shine on and keep doing your thing. And she's an amazing artist from, I think Australia or New Zealand. I'm not sure which. I think New Zealand. Amazing. And then a couple other notes for International Women's Day. Rari Foundation is doing some cool things. They have a free mint right now, but they're also doing, more importantly, a scholarship for SheFi. So a SheFi scholarship opportunity to celebrate International Women's Day on March 8th. The Rari Foundation is giving away 4 spots in SheFi's cohort 10. So please take a look at that if you're interested. They're going to announce the winners at Friday. They're going to announce the winners this morning. So you only have very limited time. They may have already picked them, but go check that out. You and I were just talking about International Women's Day, and I really hadn't even heard of it, hadn't been aware of it, wasn't even on my radar until a couple of years ago when I was more involved in Web3. And I think that's because of the global aspect of Web3. And so, I don't know, I think us American women maybe sometimes forget our privilege a little bit. So we're going to celebrate the international women today and the global reach of women. And but choose wisely. We don't need a perfume. I'm just going to tell you right now. That exchange that shall not be named, because I'm just so annoyed with them and their little perfume ad. Come on now. Rari Foundation, though, giving scholarships to SheFi. We like that kind of thing. So more of that, less of pandering. I'll just call it that, or rage baiting, and more of the
another word for that.
Yeah, there's lots of words for it. So less of that, more access to capital and cool things like that. So I also like flowers, especially when they're made by an amazing artist like Renee. By the way, she does like macro photography of like real flowers and then does things with it's really cool. So anyway, any other thoughts on International Women's Day before we dive into other things?
Probably move on.
Like we're done.
Because I do have a lot of thoughts, but maybe not for this podcast.
We'll take those offline. Moving on. Varun, this is a big day today. At 9 a.m. PT, we will have frame transactions will go live, and anyone can cast a transaction frame or interact with one. So be careful out there. Many devs have been cooking up frames. That will go live tomorrow, and there were some test runs earlier this week. And if you saw this, you could have become the storage fairy. And Adrian actually was the storage fairy for me. Transaction frames are here. Send the gift of Farcaster storage to someone with the storage fairy. They can store more casts, reactions, and follows on Farcaster for another year. You'll need to have $3 of ETH on OP mainnet to send the gift. I believe this is still active, but this was sort of a test run of the transaction frames. And a few note for this frame, you'll need to have OP ETH in your wallet. Transaction frames are still in beta, and you can't post other TX frames yet, and that'll change this morning. If you're on mobile, update to the latest App Store version, and if you're on mobile, only Coinbase Wallet is supported at this time. So try web if that's not working for you. I do think this is going to be an exciting day. I think we're going to see it gives me Frame Friday vibes. And I said that earlier this week, and I don't think everybody understood what I meant. But like, if you remember way back when, I think it was a little over a month ago, might have been 2. No, I don't even know now. Not even 2. I think it was like 6 weeks ago, was Frame Friday when they released frames for the first time, and then it just turned into a massive like online hackathon and IRL hackathon on frames, and there was this builder energy, and I feel like we're seeing that again. It started like earlier this week where people, I could just feel it. So I don't know if you're feeling that or if it's just me,
Oh, I
but
definitely am. I see it all over my feed. People are talking about it in group chats, like also just casting about it. Everyone is like, what's going on with transaction frames? Are they going to be secure? Are they going to be safe? And I do know that the team has spent a very significant amount of time and mental effort to make sure that it's like as secure as it can be.
yep, absolutely. And but always be careful out there.
Yes.
I'm excited because I know one of the frames that's dropping today is related to nouns and auctions, and you'll be able to bid, I believe, on an auction on a nounish DAO right from a frame. And pretty soon, hopefully, we'll have that for purple. So for Farcaster folks, that would be really cool. Make it a lot easier to just bid right in Warpcast and not have to leave the app. So coming soon, coming soon. But this is exciting. It's the next step. It's the
One
next step.
note
It's
on
the
that.
next step in the cookie purchasing process.
It is. So, if you didn't know, the cookie purchasing originator is also launching with a transaction frame
I
today.
should have known. I
Yeah,
should
I
have
won't give
known.
anything more than that away, but just so you know, there is another frame coming from the Girl Scout cookie originator. So that should be
This is
fun.
exciting.
And
I
I
was
was
thinking,
going to
I'm like,
say
did I
that,
have my cookies handy? Nope, I put them away. I had them like right here a little while ago, but I think I put them away. That's
oh, don't
exciting
lie,
because
you definitely
you're
ate all of
hanging.
them.
Oh, they're not too far away. I can see them, but they're just not within hand sight. They will be my breakfast. So you are hanging out with one of the cookie devs,
I
for lack
am.
of better word.
There is.
So you can tell him I call him that now.
Yeah, he can hear you right now.
Hey, cookie
So,
dev.
who knows? Yeah.
Hey, Cookie Dev. So I'm excited to see what they come up with because that to me was like, we joke about it, but it was pretty revolutionary.
It
And
really
I
was.
think we'll look back on that in a much, deeper way. But watching the transaction and I talked about this already at the event the other night in person and how smooth that was like, wow, okay, this is really cool. Like things are moving very fast. And then put that in a frame on top of it, like, that's going to be incredible. So I can't wait. I can't wait to see what you're cooking up there, Cookie Dev. I'm really excited.
He's
Very,
giggling.
I'm sure you can hear me, right? Okay, I'm going to move on to a little note about the Warpcast channels broke for a minute, and you were seeing no like this error message that said no cast in this channel, and I was trying to post something and don't do this, and I was like, I thought maybe they just declared bankruptcy, and I thought TLDR and Kagusha just declared bankruptcy, and they said
I thought I
never,
got
the job is not the job is not finished. So it was just a momentary lapse. I was like, where did all the casts go? Did they clear it out? And then I found out like something was broken.
yeah, I
Um,
totally thought I got banned. Like I was about to post in the poop channel and I was like, did I just get banned? Because I've been posting so much about poop. Like it was a very
yeah,
sensible
yeah,
like link for me to make.
yeah. No, I had the same kind of thing. I'm like, what's wrong? Is it just me? What did I do? Like, what happened? Did somebody? And then I tried a couple channels and I'm like, oh, okay, wait a minute. It's not just me. Something's wrong. Because I hadn't seen anything yet. It must have been like before they realized what was going on. So it was like, yeah, there was a little bit of an issue there. But I was about to post in the Don't Do This channel about the perfume.
Uh,
The cologne, yes. And Don't Do This. And I was like, wait, did they find out? Like, that's impressive.
yeah, it's not the eye in the sky, it's the big letter
Right?
in the
It's like,
sky that I won't mention.
no, you will not post about that. So I was a little concerned. But it's all good now. So if you see something like that in the future, don't panic. It might just be something's broken. Don't panic. You weren't banned, Erica. No one's banned you. It's all fine. It's all good. Moving on. This is pretty cool bounty. I have not looked into this yet. I have no idea what's going on, but this is from Frodo, posted in bounties. 10 ETH to
Mm.
anyone who can solve this murder. Go to findmykiller.xyz, unravel this mystery, and clear my name. Free Frodo. I have no idea what's happening with this. Have you seen this yet or looked at this?
No, but I did see that Linda posted that Frodo is the most prolific bounty poster on Bountycaster, and their bounties are on average like very large. Like they on average post larger than a 1 ETH bounty.
This is crazy. So I have to go check this out because I love like murder mysteries and, Clue is one of my favorite games and all that kind of thing. So I'm like, oh, this might be for me. This might be the one.
Do it.
So I have to go check this out later. I just saw it late last night, so I'm like, this is interesting. So we're gonna go check that out later. I'll let you know. I'll let you know how I do if I get 10 ETH or not. We'll see.
Yes,
Also,
I'm the one who pushed you
go
to do
ahead.
it.
Go ahead. What's that?
I said I'm here pushing you to do it clearly, so I deserve
Yes.
50% of that.
Clearly, absolutely. You did cheer me on, so that's worth something at least. I'm wondering if we can do it as a group too. That could be interesting. I don't know. I have to check it out and see what the rules are and what the deal is, but I might jump in our little chatters chat and
Hmm.
maybe we can work on this together and, abundance mindset and all. I don't need it all for myself. Happy to share. It would probably end up sharing anyway. By the way, that's now a new joke with Adrian and I. I don't know if she's listening. I don't think she's in yet. She was maybe going to pop in the chat. That I give away too many things, and this may be a problem when starting a business with somebody. So
Yeah.
Adrian's going to be the one that pulls me back and be like, "Stop giving stuff away."
You need one of those people to keep you in check because I'm like you and I have a Graham
Yeah.
McBain to keep me in check.
See, yeah, you need one. You need one of those people to pull you back and be like, "You can't give away everything. You just can't if we're going to actually run a business." And speaking of this business we're running here, we are going to be launching as a full time. This is going to be our full time gig, so I'm very excited. Adrian and I will talk more about it next week. But part of that, we just finished uploading the Denver interviews, and I did post them in the GM Farcaster channel. They are amazing. I've started posting some clips as well. I got through about half of them, but if you haven't had a chance to listen to them, go listen to them. They're also in a playlist on YouTube, and most of them are 15 minutes ish, except there's one big chunk. It's about 40 something minutes,
Wonder
and
who
it
that
is the Dwoofy, Brian, Matthew, Toady. I couldn't separate those four because it was a whole thing. And if you want to laugh and you want to actually, there's some cool stuff in there as well. But if you want to laugh, just listen to that one or watch that one. It's better visual. And thank you for the congratulations. I see you. But it's really fun. And I laugh. All of them were great. All of them were great and amazing, but I laughed through that one so much. It was just fun to relive it, and I highly recommend you go give those a watch. They're a lot of fun. It'd be something for your plane ride home. There you go. Got you
Yeah,
set up. I got you
here.
set up for your plane ride home. From TED, a new TED experiment. For the next 5 days, I'm only going to use direct messages and group chats. Knowing frame transactions are imminent, I'll interact with frames shared in those messages. Club TED membership gated GC will be where I cast thoughts. If you're waiting on a message back from me, this experiment should help. What do you think about this? I'm not sure. I didn't fully get the reasoning behind this, besides
Mhm.
maybe I know she's doing a lot of traveling, and I was thinking it might even just be a practical thing. But I don't know if there's other reasons for it. Thoughts?
I won't say that I know the exact reasons for it. I will say that I am in Club TED, so I do have a little bit of background on it. But I'm not speaking for TED when I say this, but I find the experiment in and of itself interesting because to me, if I don't know TED and I read that, I would see that as a signal that there's a lack of satisfaction with what your feed is delivering to you, and also issues with the notification system. And I know that I've seen a lot of people talk about how they miss a lot of notifications, like things being separated into like mentions, and that and watches is kind of confusing, stuff like that. So I actually see this experiment as more of a reflection of like core issues in the feed algorithm and the notification delivery system that need to be fixed. Because to me, TED is essentially saying like, I think I get more value out of just living in GCs with the people that I connected with like previously, or, the members of Club TED. Once again, I will asterisk that with I am not speaking for TED. This is just my
Yeah.
of the situation. Yeah.
No, thank you for and that was kind of what I was sensing as well, but I did not have any more background on that. But I did have conversations with Cameron too about this, and that's why he created the, the see more super follow kind of thing around the fact that you're missing people's posts, casts,
Mhm.
because the feed is busy. It's very busy now. There's a lot more people. It's a lot harder to kind of cut through and see what you want to see. I do have certain people on notifications, so a lot of times I'll start there. I'll start on my notifications, and I don't have that many, and I probably need to add to that list so I get a better feed. But I'll start there. I'll start with, I mean, notifications for other people, not just for things where I'm getting mentioned. I look at that as well, obviously. But also like certain people that I want to see, what are they saying today? And then I kind of then go into trending and home feed or certain channels that that I generally track. But it is like I'm really curious to see what comes out of this and what her experience is, and if it was a better fit, or was she missing stuff? So it'll, or, like, did she miss her regular feed or what have you? So it'll be interesting to see how that works out for sure. Very curious. Always love what Ted is experimenting with. But before she went, she did ask this in venture capital, which I thought was incredibly interesting. Okay, last cast before I retire to DCs and GCs. Crypto VCs, why did you decide to invest in so many DAOs between 2020 and 2022-ish? Genuinely curious about what those investment memos looked like and why you were bullish enough to invest. And she then specifically tagged a few folks. We'll ask directly A16Z Crypto, why Creator DAO, among others, Variant, why Pleaser DAO, C Club, why Cabin DAO, Paradigm, Dim, you don't list any investments with DAO in the name on your homepage. What made you decide not to invest? Although I believe they may have. This question is not a criticism, genuine curiosity. And she went on from there. And I thought this was really interesting. There's also a couple of VCs who invested in DAOs like Flamingo DAO, which is a art-based collector DAO, and I know at least one of them. So beyond just VCs, there's also a lot of angel investors who invested in DAOs early on as a play, and I think I don't know that it's worked out in the way that they thought it might, but I think it was part of a, spray and pray kind of a approach a little bit to things in crypto, not knowing how things were going to work out. Any thoughts on that?
Uh, yes. And the main one is mainly being that I find it really interesting that like DAOs were invested in during that period, because if you recall, there wasn't a lot of DAO tooling or infrastructure at that
No.
time. So there was probably a huge lack of reporting on where time was being spent, where money was being spent. And so to me, it's confusing to see a bunch of money being dumped into that area during that time, because how do you measure your returns? Like how do you know how your investment is performing? And I'm a very data-driven person, very data-driven designer. And to me, it just doesn't make sense to essentially start off with an investment where there's no reporting structure. So that's my main thought about it.
Interesting. That's really interesting. I hadn't even thought about that aspect of it. So I was looking at it, of course, through the lens of nouns. And we do have Variant does own a noun. There are members of A16Z who own nouns, but not, I don't believe they themselves own one. And that's a very unique experiment. So it's not a clear, and then there are a lot of angel investors as well had bought nouns personally. There wasn't a clear path to how is this investment going to go up? How am I
Mhm.
going to make money on it? And it's very unclear with something like that project. And I think that's why you didn't see too many VCs or investors jump in there, because it wasn't posed in that way. But yeah, I'm curious I would love to see, I love that she asked this question. I'd love to see them sort of report on that experiment. Like what did they learn? What can we learn from it, from those investments? And I think that could be incredibly useful to the space. So thanks for the question, Ted. I'm looking forward to seeing some answers. We'll see. We are running out of time, so I'm going to blow through a few different things really quickly. I don't know if you saw this, Erica, but if you didn't, you're going to want to check this out. It'll be in the show notes. This was from Alex, the Uber driver, reporting from East Denver. And he had some just lovely things to say about 300 plus passengers that he drove during East Denver.
Wow.
One of the quotes that I pulled from that was that he said, weirdly pacifist and revolutionary at the same time. Was what how he described his passengers. And I thought it was really interesting because he went on to talk about how he was asking questions. I guess he's a very chatty driver, and people weren't trying to sell him at all ever. He's like, not once. And he said there were two different kinds of folks. One who was more like the developers who were there to basically try and find a job, and then the ones who were crypto, fanatics, I believe was the way he described us. I'm going to
Yeah.
put myself right in that category. And it was a very interesting, thoughtful post. I guess it came from Reddit. So go give that a read because if you were at East Denver, you're going to feel really good about yourself for not being a jerk to the Uber driver because he was very, very kind about us. And I thought that was lovely. I'm trying to, it would be great to have him come on. Hey, Alex, I
Yeah,
want to
let's
interview
find
you.
Alex.
Yeah,
Where's Alex?
we gotta find Alex. I have to go find that Reddit and try and find Alex because I really loved the whole sentiment and I thought it was beautiful. And I hope that we're always seen in that way. So it's like, it was the right folks at East Denver who were absolutely showing off crypto in the best possible light. So that was really nice to see. I have a bunch more links we did not get through. Like it's been, we haven't been on since Tuesday, and you can tell because I've got a zillion links. So they will be in the show notes. So the show notes are going to be jam packed today. Definitely check those out after. Erica, before we break, anything else you'd like to add as my guest co-host today on this International Women's Day?
Something very sappy and unrelated to women, because I think we should have a day every day. We shouldn't need to be singled out. But I will say that I'm really just happy to be here. Like, I love that I'm here. I love everyone that I met at East Denver. I love that I'm in Paris with someone that I literally sent my first to 3 weeks ago. Life is crazy, and Farcaster makes it even crazier, but in a positive way.
I love Dan had posted something about if you created a social relationship
Mm,
in Farcaster, share it here. And that means a lot of different things, right? But mostly what you see is people who found a co-founder or someone that they wanted to bring into their startup. That's what I see over and over again. And then sometimes those become friendships, and
yeah.
there's a lot of deep friendships that have developed through Farcaster. And I'm 100% one of those people who's developed some of the best friendships from Farcaster, and they're still in progress, and I'm excited to see where else they go, and I'm excited to grow all these things along with you as well. So more on that later when we get things figured out. So anyway, I'll be back Monday with Adrian, back to our normal schedule, normal time. We're gonna have like a regular old work week next week. So 8:30 a.m. on Monday. Erica, have a lovely trip in Paris. Please say hello to the cookie dev. That's what I'm gonna call him from now on. And I'm excited to see what he's cooking today with the transaction frames. And that's it for us. So everyone have a happy Friday, and we will see you Monday. Have a lovely weekend. Bye bye.
Bye.